Hey friends, tonight I want to talk about the call to separate yourself. It seems to be a call, an urge, or encouragement that most of us, if not all of us, are given at some point in our spiritual journey. To remove toxic people and relationships from our life, to spend more time alone or with spirit, like meditating, focusing on ourselves, self-healing, shadow work, trying to process like these spiritual experiences we're having. If you're like me, spending a freak ton of time questioning and evaluating, like, are you crazy? Do you have an overactive imagination, or is this stuff actually happening? Oh, yeah. And yeah, just all of that kind of stuff. So for me personally, I know that the last year especially, I got all kinds of messages about needing to be separated and letting go of stuff, needing to move to more fertile soil, just all kinds of stuff, metaphors, literal messages, etc. And then, like, over time, a lot of those messages got like increasingly like crazy, ridiculously strong. Like, when and I think that's how it typically like works, at least. I mean, like, if you think about dreams, which are, usually messages from your subconscious and the benefit of your health. If you keep having like reoccurring dreams, like if you keep having reoccurring dreams or dreams about the same thing, it's your subconscious trying to tell you that, or something, that, hey, you really need to think about this, to work on this. You got this thing you got to look at. And from my experience, those dreams become more and more intense, like eventually become nightmares or something like that, in order to try and get your attention. And I think a lot of the like spiritual stuff is sort of the same way. At least that's how it's felt for me in regards to like the messages and visions and things. I mean, because I've gotten messages about the same thing in so many different ways, from visions to like download type stuff, to messages via channeling, to from dreams, messages in music and things around me, to also to like experiences I've had during like trips. And I didn't fully understand them at first. I had a pretty good idea who they were talking about, but I was like, man, things aren't that bad, so like whatever. But I think another thing for me personally is like I like here lately, especially the last couple of months, I've been really enjoying like having more me time. And I've been craving it more too, like at first I was kind of a little resistant to it. I mean, I kind of felt like I had plenty of me time. However, the me time that I was mostly having before was still like social time, or focused on other people, or focused on other things. It wasn't really me focusing like specifically on me, or like doing shadow work and that kind of stuff. And the more time I have spent with myself, the more I've enjoyed it, and the more that I want to spend with myself. However, I'm a very social person, and I really like interacting with other people, like at least in spurts, like I'll go be social for a few days, and then I'll come home and like recalibrate for like 5 days or something like that. Anyways, one of the frustrating things for me is my cat they always try to get my attention when I'm filming. One of the things that's been frustrating for me has been that I think my whole life, I wanted a best friend. My whole life, I wanted like a best friend. Like, because I grew up and my mom has a best friend from childhood that's part of our family. She's our aunt, you know. I mean, we think of her as our aunt. It doesn't matter that she's not related to us by blood. And I always wanted a relationship like that. And man, I tried so hard. I tried so hard to be that friend that someone else would, you know, want to be lifelong friends with, you know, like to be that good of a friend. And, you know, I definitely modified my behavior some, but like not so much that I really felt like I was sacrificing myself. I just held back like some things or whatever because I felt like I was too much, you know, or like my feelings were so strong they'd like overwhelm other people or something like that. But throughout my life, every time I thought that like, I've, you know, I've made a best friend, you know, like this is the one, like, never worked out, you know. I mean, like, I'd even like follow up with people. I'd like, you know, as I thought I had like a best friend in high school, and then when we got out of high school, you know, life happened, and I kept writing them. I would occasionally call, but I was mostly a snail mail person. And you know, just like most other relationships in my life, it's like, I'll make the effort, but nobody else hardly ever like follows through. And, you know, at a certain point you're like, well, you know, if they're not going to try, why am I trying? And all of that to say is I just keep feeling like if there's like some lesson that I'm learning in this life, and it's weird because I don't feel like this is the lesson I should be learning, but if there's some lesson I'm learning in this life, so far it feels like that lesson is not to trust or want anything from anyone other than yourself. Like, you know, I never thought wanting friendship from someone was a selfish thing to desire, you know, because I mean, like, it's something I would like to reciprocate. But maybe it is. I don't know. If any of y'all have any thoughts on this, I'd be curious, because like I'm just really curious, you know, like, why is this a lesson? Why does this seem like a lesson that, why does this seem like the lesson I'm learning in this life is that, you know, and it's just weird because like my whole life, I mean, like society, they just tell us like, you know, basically like care more about other people than ourselves. And for a long time, like I felt like that was how I was supposed to live. And, you know, and I don't know, maybe the lesson is actually I need to care more about myself than others. And I don't know. Why even want a friendship with other people? I don't know. I mean, I like having people to talk to. I like learning, and it's easier to learn if you have other people to interact with. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think on this a little more, but yeah, I just feel let down over and over and over again, and I feel like I'm letting myself down by having hope that like maybe one day somebody won't let me down. You know, like, I mean, even spirit lets me down sometimes. A lot of the time, mostly in little ways though. And it's just like, yeah, I just feel like I don't know, I feel like cattle being herded, and like the thing I'm being herded towards is just like further into myself or something. And I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, like, there's part of me that like, it's like, there's part of me that can almost like feel like what the point is, but I haven't consciously like realized what it is yet. So still processing. Anyways, yay for the internet. We can all be alone together, yet social at the same time.